Hey sweets, and welcome back to my channel. Now this is part 2 of ranking every RuPaul's Drag Race lip sync, which means we are on season 2. It's been so hard to rank these lip syncs because they're just so good. But without any further ado, let's get into it.
In 10th place, we have episode 3, Country Queens, which is Mystique Summers Madison versus Raven to I Hear You Knockin' by Winona Judd. Now, Raven really encompasses like the sass of the lyrics and really displays that to the judges in quite a comedic way. With the song and what she's wearing and the challenge, it all kind of works and it's like well-rounded. And a nice way to finish the episode, but the lip sync itself was kind of underwhelming. There was nothing in it that was like, wow, that really intrigued me. Mystique doesn't know the words to the song, like primarily in the beginning, and her performance was very lackluster. She didn't do much, she just kind of stood there and, I don't know, lip synced. I don't want to sound mean or anything, but like nothing really happened in that lip sync, and the best part of it was the line "but you can't come in," where Raven like shows her ass to the judges, creating like a funny double entendre. But that's about it for that one. That's why I put it in last place. I mean, all the ones after this are absolutely fantastic, and it was so hard to rank them all. But I gave it my best shot. In 9th place, we have episode 7, Once Upon a Queen, which is Jessica Wilde versus Tatiana to He's the Greatest Dancer by Sister Sledge. Now, this song is a disco song, and Jessica starts off very well doing like disco dance moves which match the genre, but as the song progresses there's no like variety, no levels with what she's doing. I mean, what she is doing is really good. She's a good dancer, she can move her body and it works very well, but there's no there's no variety to it. It's just high energy consistently, and like the other queens were saying, she was doing too much, which I can kind of agree with. I mean, like I said, she's really good at what she's doing. It was just a little too much. Whereas on the other side, Tatiana takes a more flirty, kind of seductive approach to the song, which like matches the lyrics in her movements. And the best part of this lip sync is when Tatiana perfectly mimics the vocal run in part of the song, and it kind of amplifies this passion and making it feel a bit more real when she's performing it. It doesn't feel like she's performing a dance number. It seems as though she's performing a lip sync number, which I think is the difference between Tati and Jessica in this lip sync, and that's probably why Tatiana won and Jessica went home here. So in 8th place, we have episode 9, the Diva Awards, which is Jujubee versus Tatiana to Something He Can Feel by Aretha Franklin. So in the beginning of the lip sync, the two queens don't really do much. The camera is focused more so on Tati. We don't get to see what Jujubee's doing throughout most of the beginning of the lip sync, but Tati isn't really giving much like performance-wise. She's kind of like, you can tell she's not confident on the words. Like she says she's not too confident on this lip sync, which you can kind of tell. I mean, she's trying, but it kind of slips every now and then. And she doesn't know the words properly, and she laughs and like comes out of the moment at one point, probably where she doesn't know the lyrics, so she tries to think of something to cover it up, like reacting to Jujubee and laughing at her. But that's probably most likely why she was sent home. But the best part of this is when Juju lays on the floor and screams at like the very end of the song and has like a little breakdown. We don't get to see much of Jujubee until the end of the lip sync at this point. Maybe production kind of wanted to highlight Tati going wrong and give them a reason to send her home, more so than focusing on what Juju's doing. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't the best lip sync, but it wasn't terrible. No one messed up or was incredibly boring or anything like that. It was just middle of the road, I guess. In 7th place, we have episode 8, Golden Girls, which is Jujubee versus Pandora Box to Shake Your Love by Debbie Gibson. Now, I actually quite like this lip sync. It's only in 7th place because all of the other ones after this are just very, very strong. But this one, the two queens do have a lot of fun with the song and with each other, which makes the lip sync very enjoyable and kind of more real. And it's like they've both kind of come to terms with the fact that one of them's going home, so they might as well just have some fun with it. But I think Pandora loses the lip sync because of like the curse of the robot dance, which she does, but both queens do perform very, very well, and the best part of this is when Juju plays the imaginary keyboard in like the breakdown of the song. I think that's a very amusing touch, and only Juju B could come up with something like that. In 6th place, we have episode 1, Gone with the Window, which is Shangela versus Sahara Davenport to CoverGirl by RuPaul. So both queens put up a really strong fight and provide a very fun and high energy performance. It's like, I think it's Sonique that says it's like Mortal Kombat, which is very funny, and it is a lot like Mortal Kombat. They're kicking and rolling around and all sorts. It's very funny, but I did notice that Shangela does some classic Shangela moves like a death drop, and we know she likes to death drop hard. And she also does a little cartwheel, but I noticed that Sahara like does the same moves straight after, so I don't know if she was worried that because she was doing all these like classic drag moves that excuse me, the judges would be watching Shangela and thinking, oh yeah, that's cool, so Sahara did them as well to give herself as good of a chance. I don't know, but I just noticed that she does a lot of the same moves as her, and I didn't notice it the first time I saw it. It was only when I was watching them back for this video that I thought, that's strange, that's interesting. But the best part is when Sahara takes off her shoes and does a huge leap and lands into a split. Like, she gets some air under that jump, and it's incredible to see. And that is like the first introduction of Sahara as a dancer. As we get to see later on, she does ballet incredibly well, but that's like the first taste of Sahara Davenport we get. Next up in 5th place, we have episode 11, the grand finale, which is Raven versus Tyra to Jealous of My Boogie by RuPaul. So Tyra starts the lip sync off so strong when she does that twirling movement to the beat with her beautiful like mint and baby pink outfit like swirling around her. It's so beautiful and so mesmerizing to watch. And then she goes up to the judges panel, giving them all like flirty eyes and playing around with them, which is something that we haven't seen before, and it's clear that the judges respond really well to that. It's a lot of fun, and she looks so sweet doing it as well. And the best part is when Tyra and Raven both drop to the floor at the same time. That's just fantastic. When queens synchronize with each other without realizing it, it's so cool. It gives me chills sometimes, but this one was a lot of fun. And I also have to give a special mention to Raven's outfit, because her outfit is so gorgeous. Like, that is drag. She looks beautiful. Next up in 4th place, we have episode 2, Starrbootylicious, which is Raven versus Nicole Paige Brooks to My Lovin', You Ain't Never Gonna Get It by On Vogue. On Vogue? I think that's right, yeah. Now, Raven presents sass again, like she did in the first lip sync we talked about, when delivering the lyrics in the first part of the song, immediately showing us how strong of a lip syncer she is, because obviously this is the first time Raven's been in the bottom, and it proves to us what she's capable of doing. She has a lot of fun with the song, kind of toys around with a bit of comedy, but also a lot of sass. And in the first part of the first part of the lip sync, the majority of the lip sync, the camera's not on Nicole, so I don't know what she was really doing. I mean, she looked, in what we saw, like she was channeling the lyrics of the song, but it was more focused on Raven. But I do like how both the queens' outfits match each other. I think that's a cute little touch. And the best part of this lip sync is the breakdown of the song, where Raven points to all the queens in the back, telling them they're never gonna get it, never gonna get it. In this case, that's the crown, and sassily delivering the vocal run at the end of that. And then I also like at the end as well when she uses one of her boobs as a sponge to mop up the sweat, which is quite funny. And the way Nicole reacts to that, that's quite amusing. But That's a good, strong lip sync between them two. And I really enjoyed it. That's why it's in 4th place. I actually really, really enjoy that lip sync. In 3rd place, we have episode 4, The Snatch Game, which is Morgan McMichaels versus Sonique to 2 of Hearts by Stacey Q. Now, right off the bat, Morgan starts off the lip sync very strong with dance moves that match the fast-paced tempo of the song, whereas Sonique takes a while to, I don't know, do this reveal, get undressed, and show off like a matching bikini. She takes off her gloves and her bracelets and then eventually her dress, but by this point in the song, it's like halfway over and she's only just done this reveal. And I feel like Morgan's had enough time to impress the judges by then, and maybe that's why Sonique just decided to whip out all of these gymnastic moves in her inventory and do them all on stage to this song. And you know, there's no doubt that Sonique's gymnastics moves are so cool and absolutely incredible. And I think she tries to match Morgan's high energy dancing by doing those moves. But by this point, Morgan has spent enough time wowing the judges, so it was possibly, I don't know, too late for Sonique. I think she needed to do something quicker rather than spend half the song getting undressed. I don't know, maybe that's why she was at fault. But the best part of this is, I mean, I could have picked any moment with Morgan on screen because her dancing is so good in this. But I had to specifically pick the moment where she like swirls her arms to the rhythm of the song, and it's just so satisfying to watch. I don't know what it is. Every time I watch it, I'm like, ooh, there it is, there's the move. But both queens did some impressive moves in this. It's just, I think Morgan wowed the judges sooner. In 2nd place, we have episode 5, Here Comes the Bride, which is Morgan McMichaels versus Sahara Davenport to Carry On by Martha Walsh. I put this lip sync at number 2, mainly because it shows off Sahara Davenport's talent, and this is probably Sahara's highlight on this season. This lip sync is absolutely incredible from Sahara. And it'll be part of her legacy, and both queens deliver such a beautifully dramatic and theatrical performance in the beginning of the song, where it's like slower and a little bit more dramatic, and they match that really well. But then as the beat picks up, the two queens bring the energy up as well, and it adds more depth to the performance, unlike what we said about Jessica Wilde, who was just the same the whole time. And we get to see Sahara's fantastic dance abilities in this song, and it's so mesmerizing to watch. Oh my, it's amazing. It's so cool, and just that massive jump again into a split from the stage and onto the floor in front of the judges panel is just incredible. That's when she won that lip sync and won over our hearts as well. She is such a good dancer, and it'll go down in her legacy. Like I said, this lip sync is fantastic, and I watch it as like a tribute to Sahara because she just went all out on that stage.
Now, before we get to the number 1 spot, I just want to say a quick thank you for being here with me today. And if you're feeling generous, leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already.
In 1st place, we have episode 6, Rocket Chicks, which is Jujubee versus Sahara Davenport to Black Velvet by Alana Miles. Oh, this lip sync, it gave me chills. It didn't even just give me chills, it made me well up the first time I saw it. Jujubee, oh my god, her performance was amazing. She spends most of this lip sync on the floor, really encompassing the desperation in the lyrics and the tonality of the song. It's just so powerful and so moving, and the judges are all sat there kind of in silence, like tearing up as well, and that's exactly how I felt when I first saw it. And Sahara does some more dancey movements, like in the Carry On lip sync, like pirouettes, but they don't really like match the song. I think the more crawling around on your hands and knees, begging, you know, like kind of that kind of raw emotion is so much better. And Juju really encompasses that. And the best part is when she lays on the floor and her hair is over her face. and she looks like an absolute mess, and she delivers the lyrics with such passion. Oh, it gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. Every time I see it, I'm like, chills. It's so good, and it's possibly one of my favorite lip syncs of all time, because Jujubee just nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. And I think it kind of works as well with the episode, being that she was convinced, she knew that this kind of episode is something she'd excel at. It's live vocals and performing, and we all know Jujubee's an incredible singer. And then it all goes wrong, and it doesn't work out for her, and this kind of desperate message in this song of like, you know, it matches, it mirrors Juju's desperation in wanting to continue in this competition. Does that make sense? Or am I just reading too far into it? I think it kind of mirrors how she's feeling, and I really like that. And that's why it is my favorite lip sync of all time. I mean, season 2.
That's it for today's video. I want to thank you for joining me here today, and I want to remind you to check out the link in the description to my social media. Send me a little follow if you haven't already. Drink plenty of water, and I'll catch you in the next one.